Everyone, I am Lisa Bergman. I am part of the Hinsey team, and I am calling all Diamond Clubbers today from the Polishing Diamond Club. I want to talk a little bit about some feedback that we've received out there in the field from some of you who are really feeling this stretch from these goals that have been put before you through the Diamond Club program. Anyone feeling it? Are you feeling at all overwhelmed, maybe tired, any frustration there? What about worry? Are you feeling worried that you might be disappointing your team members? I know this is a competition, so we all want to do our really best, and we don't want people to be disappointed in us, right? So let me talk to that a little bit today, and I'm going to do so first by talking about our brain. So our brain is an interesting instrument. It basically processes what we tell it to do. In fact, it's been said that we process about 1 of every 100 bits of information that we get. So your brain has to make decisions about what it takes in and what it lets out, all based on the programming that we give it. It's kind of like a big spam filter. It will filter out information that we're saying is not useful for us, and it will allow us to see things that are great. And sometimes if our filters are not set in place, we're going to miss things that are right in front of us because we're not looking for them. So to keep that in mind, and then let's talk a little bit about fear and what fear is. What is fear? Think about all of the feelings that come up when I say that word. It's not really the most pleasant word, right? And we all feel fear at one time or another. I think that's just part of the human condition. So what are these unpleasant feelings? They might be overwhelmment, right? Like I had asked you in the beginning, are you feeling overwhelmed? Are you feeling tired? Are you feeling discouraged, worried? Disappointment can be part of fear. Terror, that's a big one, right? Sadness, grief, all of those can be associated with fear. Not the most pleasant feelings that we've ever experienced in our lifetime, right? Not something that we really want to experience. And I have the feeling that some of you may have ramped up that feeling of fear just because you've been given a goal that's uncomfortable. It's uncomfortable when we put ourselves out there and we want to stretch. Fear can come in and make us think that we can't achieve what it is. Well, what is fear really? Fear is false expectation appearing real. So there are things that we have kind of contrived or trained ourselves to think scare us, but they're not really real. They feel real though. And so there's something we need to do to deal with that fear. Let me give you an example of a great analogy, I think, that can apply in this situation. A friend of mine worked for years, is now retired, but worked as a Navy captain and was out at sea all of the time. And waves were no stranger to him. They would often come up over the sides of the ship on every side. And if he wasn't careful, it could really bring the ship down. I think this is very similar to fear, right? So when we're feeling fear, we feel like all of these things are coming at us from every side. Worry, disappointment, frustration, discouragement. And what do we want to do is just kind of go away, right? Hide under a rug and hope that the fear will pass. Well, let me tell you what this Navy captain said that he always did in this situation. He would steer his ship into the very biggest wave and go straight into it, head on first. And he would make it okay by just steering right into that big wave. So that's what we need to do when we feel fear. Steer into that big, scary wave. If you don't do that, he said, then those waves will overtake you and you will sink to the bottom of the ocean. So nobody wants to sink, right? We don't want to avoid our fear. We want to take it head on, look at it, look at what's real about it, what feels real, and help ourselves understand and gain a new perspective. Now we have two sides of an equation. We have two choices anytime we're faced with something. We do have a choice to feel fear and all of those feelings that come with it. On the other side of the equation, we can feel faith. Now, fear is your fear of loss is a good way to put fear. Faith is kind of a desire for gain. So what can we lose by fearing, or what can we gain by having faith and having that desire for gain. Let's kind of compare the two. So first of all, what kinds of feelings do we feel when we have faith? We feel hope. We feel uplifted. We might feel abundance. We might feel generosity. We might feel contentment, peace, positivity, optimism. All of those wonderful things that happen when we stay on the faith side. What do we have if we stay on the fear side, right? We're actually being threatened by those waves when we stay there. But what do we have to lose by trusting ourselves enough to leave that place, right? Sometimes it can be scary because at least that's our known, right? So what do we have to lose by switching over to this fear of gain side? If we were to kind of compare the two, which side do you want to be on? You can't be on both sides. So if we stay here where there's fear, what's the worst thing that can happen, right? Staying in fear, we can be worse off. Or the chances are, in this case with polishing diamonds, you're really not going to be any worse off than you are right now, right? Your chances of going deeper down are pretty small. The real challenge here is maybe you'll disappoint people on your team. But beyond that, if you don't have any enrollments, if you don't succeed, if you don't achieve anything, you're where you are. You're where you were when you started, right? That's about the worst thing that happens if you stay on that side. What if you move over however, to the desire for gain? What possibilities are there for you there? First of all, you're going to feel better, right? Your emotions are much higher. Your brain filters that situation much more easily, so you're going to see more opportunity. And what if you just enrolled one person? Aren't you better off than you would be on the fear side of that desire to just quit and give up and let the waves take you on? So your desire for success can actually overpower your fear for loss. And this is really a good reason that we give such a big stretch goal to people, because for you to just achieve maybe one enrollment, that's not so hard, that's not so scary, right? But it also doesn't give you anything to really motivate you or boost you or keep you on this faith side that promotes all the positive growth and opportunity that we want you to have and to experience. So what possibility is there for you when you stay on the desire for gain side? All of the things that we mentioned, right? Let me refer to my notes just to make sure I'm staying on track here. We can also look at the best case scenario when we're on the desire for gain side, which is, if your best case scenario could be 18 enrollments, and really that's just another filtering that we're putting in there, right? We're telling you that it is possible, it has been done, it is achievable to get 18 enrollments in a month. And I submit to you that that's actually a low number. You can do better than that. We want you to stretch. And so we feel like that is a really good stretch goal for you. Okay, so let me just also suggest to you that your goals are a good way to change your filtering system. So if you are used to being on the worry, overwhelmed, tired side of things, having a really big stretch goal gives you that sense of purpose and something that you can work toward to put you on the other side, the fear of gain. And you literally change those filters in your brain that are looking more for opportunity than for loss. When you start looking at what you have and looking at the opportunities before you, your brain literally reveals more of those opportunities on your way. So you're resetting your filter systems by setting those stretch goals. Okay, so you may still be saying, all right, that's all good. I get it. I need to be positive. I need to put my fear on a shelf. I need to approach it and look at reality and recognize that I'm not going to die if I don't achieve every goal. But boy, I sure do want to achieve those goals. How do I do it, right? Well, I think sometimes when we have a big goal, we want to know how to tackle it, right? So I like the experience that Callie shared when she talked about how she had to move herself across country, even being pregnant. So what she did was she took account for what she needed to pack, and she knew that she needed 60 boxes packed by the end of the month. So she gathered all of the supplies that she would need, and she broke that down by the day. So that would be what, 2 boxes a day that she packed for her trip, or for her trip, for her move, right? And she made sure, no matter what happened in that day, that she packed her 2 boxes. And if she missed a day, then she had to make it up that weekend. But she made sure that on average, those boxes were packed so that by the end of the month, she wasn't worried or frustrated. She had achieved that goal, and she found success in doing those little things every day. So how can we relate that to you in your business? What are the things that you can do today that will make everything else easier in your business, that will help people get to your events, that will help you have events? What can you do today that will help you to do successful action today? Because when you take little things and little acts and you make them successful, success plus success equals success. You're not ever going to, that equation is never going to say successful actions plus successful actions equal failure, right? Your actions of success are going to amount to success. So think about this. What is the one thing that you can do today such that everything else, right? Now, doTERRA has kind of set that guideline of making 2 contacts a day. So that's a wonderful goal. Can we ramp that up a little bit? We may need to, right, to get those 18 enrollments every month. What can we do today so that you can measure out this month your 18 enrollments? Let's take that month and let's break it down in half. So we have 9 people within the first 2 weeks of building, right? You break that in half again. For 1 week, you need 4 or 5 enrollments. So how many contacts would you need to get 4 or 5 people to enroll at one of the 2 events that you hold this week? I would say